I knew something was wrong the moment she asked me to wear the navy suit, the one she said made me look trustworthy. She only called me that when she wanted to feel powerful. The house smelled like wine and polished lies that evening. Laughter echoed through the chandelier-lit room, her family surrounding the dining table, pretending they liked me. My boss, Richard, stood at the head of the table, holding her hand like it was his right. I noticed the way his thumb stroked her palm. Everyone did. They just pretended not to. I didn't blink. I smiled, the way I'd practiced in the mirror for weeks. When she clinked her glass, the room fell silent. "We have some news," she said, glowing. "I'm pregnant." Applause, cheers, fake joy. Then she paused, her gaze flicking toward Richard. That half-second glance confirmed what I already knew. Not my child. Not my mistake. Her sister smirked, the kind that burns through bloodlines. "We all know your boss has been doing your wife for a year, and you didn't even notice, loser." Laughter again. Cruel, sharp. Everyone waited for me to break. But I didn't. I lifted my glass, calm as a confession. "To family," I said. "Especially to your daughter, Susan. She'll make a wonderful mother. You're going to be a grandma. Surprise!" The silence that followed was the kind that freezes time. Susan, the sister's 19-year-old daughter, dropped her fork. My wife's smile cracked. Richard went pale. And I just kept smiling. It hadn't started with revenge. It started with confusion. Her perfume changing, her phone always face down, business trips that never matched her company's schedule. I wanted to believe I was paranoid. That's what love does. It makes you stupid and hopeful in equal measure. Then one night, her laptop synced to our home Wi-Fi. iCloud photos, videos, my boss's hand, her laugh, their hotel bed. The betrayal wasn't the hardest part. It was realizing how easily they'd turned me into their joke. The office whispers, her sudden spending, Richard promoting me just to keep me close. I became the loyal fool in their private comedy. That's when the switch flipped. I started watching. Quietly. Patiently. I recorded everything. Texts, receipts, hotel bookings. I traced cash transfers from Richard's account to hers. But I didn't confront them. I just smiled more at work, offered Richard cigars, sat beside him in meetings, nodding. At home, I acted as if nothing had changed. I cooked, kissed her cheek, and waited. When I found out she was pregnant, I confirmed it wasn't mine before she even knew. DNA from a hairbrush, tested discreetly. Science doesn't lie. But emotion needed theater, and I wanted an audience. That's when Susan, her niece, came to me crying one afternoon. "Uncle, I can't tell my mom," she said. She was scared, pregnant, and alone. Her boyfriend had vanished. I helped her, paid for her rent, her prenatal care. I told her to keep quiet, for now. I knew what I was building. The plan was simple. Timing was everything. I made sure Richard's corporate gifts were reclassified under company funds. Fraud on paper. His emails and transfers archived. My lawyer friend helped build a quiet case, sealed and waiting. Meanwhile, I left small clues for her family to underestimate me. Let them believe I was the oblivious husband. It made their arrogance louder, their mistakes bigger. And then, the party. After my toast, chaos erupted. Her sister screamed at Susan. My wife shouted at me. Richard's face twisted in disbelief, muttering, "You set this up." He wasn't wrong. As they shouted, I slipped away and made one final call, to the detective who'd been waiting for my signal. 5 minutes later, the sirens cut through the noise. The police entered. Warrant in hand. Fraud. Embezzlement. Richard's company funds. His pregnant mistress. My wife's scream as they handcuffed him was almost operatic. She begged, "Please, he didn't." But they had the evidence. The trail I'd laid led right to them both. Her family stared at me like they were seeing me for the first time. The quiet man who knew everything. I sipped my wine and whispered, "You should have kept your jokes private." Later that night, I walked home alone. The air was calm, almost forgiving. People think revenge feels like victory. It doesn't. It feels like silence after a storm. You don't cheer, you just breathe, knowing you've reclaimed what was stolen. Your dignity, your narrative, your control. Richard lost his company. My wife lost her lover and her freedom, accessory to fraud. Her family lost their pride. Susan had her baby. I helped her finish college. I don't love her, but I respect her honesty. I filed for divorce quietly. No theatrics. I didn't need them anymore. Because the truth is, revenge isn't about destroying others. It's about making them face themselves. And in that mirror, they always collapse. So when people ask me how I stayed calm that night, I tell them this.